Welcome to the website for Hom-A-Gen Farm, located in Providence, North Carolina, a half a mile below the Virginia-North Carolina dividing line. It is 1/2 mile from the Danville, Virginia city limits. Altogether, Hom-A-Gen has 540 acres. If you visit us, you will think you are 50 miles from any city. It's that private and serene. This website has 103 pictures. Please look at them all, and you will rarely see a farm this beautiful. You are now looking at a small portion of Section 1. If you fly over Hom-A-Gen, you will see approximately 300 acres of very mature forests, since virtually no timbering has been done for over 100 years. And you will see beautifully manicured meadows or pasture land that produces a great deal of hay. Over 90% of the perimeter of this farm is in forests, so it's impossible to see inside the farm from the perimeter. And when you're inside the farm, it is virtually impossible to see outside. We bought 500 acres in 1995 to bring our acreage up to a total of 671 very private acres. Every section has beautiful open fields, tree-lined by hardwoods and mature forests. This is rolling Piedmont country. The elevation ranges from 500 to 620 feet above sea level. The views in every section are beautiful. All 4 sections have a well-maintained gravel road. The road connects all 4 sections and there are over 1,600 feet of frontage on the state highway. This map shows there are 5 sections. Last year, Section 5 was sold, thus reducing our total acreage from 671 acres to 540. The new owner of Section 5 wanted land where he could build a new home and stable and not be visible from any other dwelling. And that's exactly what he got. He paid $3,429 per acre. Sections 2, 3, and 4 are open land, perfect for new homes to be built. The prices for Sections 2, 3, and 4 have been reduced significantly. Each acre is priced now at $3,500. Before the reduction, the total price for Sections 2, 3, and 4 was $1,452,000. Now the new price totals $1,290,695. That's a reduction of 11%. This shows a part of Section 1, which is where we live. The barn closest to the entrance road is my wife's art studio. It was built in 1840. The home to the left behind it is the main home that we built in 1995. More about it coming up. The home behind the art studio is our guest house. To the right is my office, and the far right building is 10 garages. You can see part of the pond behind the guest house and the office. Section 1 is 171.71 acres in total, and the price for this land and all of the buildings has been reduced from $2,093,193 to $1,794,485. That's a reduction of 14%. This is a list of all of the assets on Section 1. The 171 acres is priced at $3,500 per acre, exactly like the acreage on Sections 2, 3, and 4. All the other assets are priced well below their actual cost. This shows a pond closer up, so you can see the pond from the main house, the guest house, the office, and the garages. This pond is one of my favorite features. It's about 3 acres and 42 feet deep in the middle. Of course, it is stocked with fish. This is the main house that we built in '95. It has 3,200 square feet heated inside, 2 small basements, a front porch 40 by 12, and a screened side porch 16 by 12. It is custom built and extremely comfortable, all on one floor with 3 bedrooms and 3.5 baths. Fabulous kitchen, family room, and pantry, and a 40 by 12 foot spectacular living dining room. The front porch faces east and gets morning sun and afternoon shade. It is shady from 3 p.m. till evening in the summer. The 2 porches on the main home have beautiful views. Our lawns are big and irrigated. The owner can choose to mow everything shown like a lawn, or let most of it grow up and be harvested for hay twice a year. We like keeping it mowed, but we have used much of it to raise hay on in the past. We love the views from the main house in all 4 directions. Behind the house, down the steps from the 40-foot living room, is a fine in-ground concrete pool with wide decks all around it. This pool faces west, and there are no homes in sight from the main house in any direction, so of course the pool is totally private. This shows the position of the pool behind the main home. You can see the circular driveway that comes up to the screen porch at the end of the home. This shows a part of the 16 by 12 screen porch and how it looks out at the parking lot. There's a 2-car garage at the rear of the parking area. Looking from the office toward the main home, this shows how close the pond is to the main home. This is a view of the screen porch and parking area on the kitchen end of the house. The kitchen is also a family room with a fine fireplace. The kitchen has a Viking range and 2 Sub-Zeros, 2 huge sinks, microwave, 2 trash compactors, and custom maple cabinets in both the kitchen and the pantry. This shows just half of the pantry, which is connected to the kitchen and adjoins the living dining room. The pantry has a full 3-part sink, dishwasher, trash compactor, and 1 of the Sub-Zero fridges. These photos show the family room part of the kitchen with a fireplace. An 8-chair breakfast table and TV under the kitchen island. Antique baskets and decoys line the beam. This is the living dining room, 40 feet long and 20 feet wide. The wall of windows looks out at the pool, terrace, and plantings. Both wood-burning fireplaces are wide and deep. This one at the end of the living dining room is in front of the sectional sofa. This is a section of the living dining room with the windows looking out at the front porch, lawn, and guest home. The house has 3 bedrooms, each with its own bath. 2 of the bedrooms are very large, 27 by 15. The 3rd bedroom is 14 by 12. This is another of the large bedrooms. Both these large bedrooms have vaulted ceilings with large beams and ceiling fans. This is the 3rd bedroom, big enough for a double bed. My wife's computer desk is shown. This shows part of her bathroom. She hangs pictures everywhere. This is part of a powder room off the living room, dining room, with more pictures. The private drive from the state highway is 3/4 of a mile to the main house. You pass by my brother's house and dependencies on the way. His 53-acre farm is the original farm here. He has a 1918 farmhouse, guest house, and several barns. My farm is 1/4 of a mile behind him. You pass the art studio and the guest house on your way to our main house. The guest house was originally a tobacco barn, which was totally redone in 1998. It has a large living dining room, a kitchen with sitting area, 2 beautiful bedrooms, each with king-size beds, a very nice large bathroom, and a screened porch. It looks right at the pond from the living room and from the kitchen. Everyone who stays here wants to come back. The guest house is about 500 feet from the main house. This shows the back door to the kitchen and the brick terrace overlooking the pond. You can see part of the office and the garages past the guest house. This shows some of the living dining room of the guest house. The three windows look out at the pond. Since the main room was originally a tobacco barn, it has a high ceiling with beams. The dining area can seat 8 comfortably. This shows the high ceiling in the living dining room with beams and a ceiling fan. The guest house has 2-stage heat pump for heat and air conditioning. The kitchen has a gas range and oven, a microwave, and dishwasher plus fridge. This is a sitting area in the kitchen featuring an antique fireplace mantel and wood-burning fireplace. The kitchen has 4 windows looking out at the pond. Parking for the guest house is behind the brick terrace. This is the full bath between the 2 bedrooms in the guest house. This is the front bedroom. It has 4 windows looking out at the drive and the lawn. Each of the bedrooms is identical in size. This is the other bedroom in the back with 5 windows, a ceiling fan, and ample closet. This is the front door and part of the screened porch at the guest house. In 1840, my great-grandfather came here and built this pack barn out of logs that were cut off the farm. Today, it is my wife's art studio. It was completely renovated in 1997. She paints here and has an art school on Thursdays. This is the front room of the art studio. You can visit her website. She has won many awards. Log in to janecarterart.com, 434-489-3016. You may enjoy her janecarterart.com website, shown here. The back room of the studio is the work area for framing and matting. This is a fine hobby barn with HVAC, a half bath, pretty views out every window, plenty of parking for 5 cars. This is my office, just past the guest house. It is completely reconstructed from a tobacco barn with 2 large rooms, a half bath and kitchenette. It's 150 feet past the guest house and is located right next to the pond. I love 3-sided shed roofs on these buildings, and so I added them to the original barns. The office room in the foreground features this splendid view of the pond. This is looking back from the pond dam toward the office and the 10 garages. We use them to house farm machinery and mowers. The other 6 garages are behind the 4 garages shown here. We are still in section 1. When you leave the pond behind the office, the road goes down a steep hill toward Pumpkin Creek. On the way to the creek, there is a beautiful 3-acre pond next to the road, just left of the bridge shown. We built this pond in 1995. Of course, it is well stocked too. After you cross the Pumpkin Creek Bridge, there is a fine 3-bay workshop where we store tractors and farm equipment. This building is all metal, has its own water well, large concrete pad in front, and automatic electric overhead doors. Section 1 land continues for nearly another mile until it connects with Section 2. Section 2 is the largest section of open land. It's 181 acres. The northern boundary is adjacent to the south boundary of Section 1. So Section 1 is connected to Section 2. Section 2 has a masonry garage workshop that is 40 feet wide and 31 feet deep. It has 3 bays with 14-foot roll-up doors. Section 2 also has a small well house near the soccer field. So there are 2 buildings on Section 2. This is the all-masonry Section 2 workshop. It has its own water well, electricity, propane heat, hot and cold water, a new air compressor, a 2nd-story office, and a 40 by 20 shed roof for the equipment storage. Section 2 elevations are dramatic. From a low of 505 feet above sea level to a high of 600, the views from Section 2 are beautiful in all four directions. In total, Section 2 has over 90 acres of grassland and about 76 acres of forest. Hom-A-Gen has many really beautiful places for homes to be built. Perhaps because of the dramatic elevation changes, building on the top of Section 2 next to the lone tree is the most dramatic home site on the 540 acres. The south end of Section 2 ends at Pumpkin Creek, at the bridge, where Section 2 now joins Section 3. The road on Section 3 climbs up the hill on the way to Shady Grove Road. When you drive from the beginning of Section 1, where my home and guest house are located, and drive all the way through Section 2 and cross Pumpkin Creek, you enter into Section 3. Section 3 ends at Shady Grove Road, which is State Route 1360. You will have driven over 2 miles. As the road climbs the Section 3 hill from Pumpkin Creek, it passes a beautiful microclimate, which has rhododendron and mountain laurel that are usually seen only in the mountains. Section 3 road passes by a large field at the right after you have passed the microclimate. The trees on the horizon were planted by Shady Grove Road when we bought the land to make Section 3 private. Near Shady Grove Road, the farm road turns left and runs parallel to Shady Grove Road as it passes the 2 gated entrances in Section 3. This fence along Shady Grove Road is built on both sides of one of the Section 3 gated entrances. If one enters this gate, one can see the 3-bay workshop located at the very back of Section 2. The distance you are viewing from Shady Grove Road to the workshop is more than a mile. So to cross Sections 2 and 3, one must drive more than a mile from Shady Grove Road. Actually, Section 3 has 2 big fields separated by a wooded valley in between these fields. It's actually quite possible to split Section 3 into 2 separate building sites with 40-plus acres in each of the 2 properties. Section 3 fronts on Shady Grove Road, shown at the bottom of this photo. There is a gate into each of the two fields. If you study this field, you see how the road from the gate follows the right edge of the left field. Notice how you can turn left toward the back of that field. That left turning road connects Section 3 to Section 4. This map shows the left turning road in Section 3 leading to 4. And the map of Section 4 shows the road coming from Section 3 into Section 4 and exiting on Shady Grove Road. We planned the connecting road from Section 3 to Section 4 to be curvy as it entered Section 4 to make the trip through the woods beautiful. This photo shows our road just beginning to enter the big fields in Section 4. And Section 4 has 100 acres with about 50 in open fields and 50 in very mature forests. The forest has 2 different creeks running through it that eventually become one creek called Pumpkin Creek. The Section 4 forest is directly behind the big Section 4 field. If you want to live in peace and quiet with beautiful views, sparse population, low cost of living, light traffic, and genuinely nice people, you should consider Hom-A-Gen Farm. We have a fabulous farm with a beautiful home, guest home, hobby barn, office, lots of garages and storage. Sections 2, 3, and 4 are ready to build on with splendid building sites. Call me, please,